So a couple of days ago, Donald Trump was asked, with J.D. Vance standing right there, if it was true that they were going to be having a meeting about how to discuss strategy on the Epstein case, how to pretty much make it go away. And of course, Trump went into his usual shtick of it was all created by the Democrats, it was all one big hoax. And then J.D. Vance actually pulled out one of Donald Trump's favorite hits and said that the meeting was actually fake news. Take a look.
Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw a reporter today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay?
So the same J.D. Vance who was standing there listening to Donald Trump call the Epstein files one big hoax was actually laughing it up on Theo Von a while back. Remember this?
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
So my question to J.D. Vance would be, which one is it? Do you really need to release the Epstein files? Or is it all just one big hoax created by the Democrats because you can't have it both ways? Now, he was on Theo Von when he could laugh it up with Theo Von and make a joke about it and appeal to the Trump base, appeal to MAGA. He did it. But then standing there beside Trump now, he's trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube, and he's trying to say that the meeting to discuss the Epstein strategy was fake news and that it never happened. But the Daily Beast is reporting that it did in fact happen, and while they were talking about strategy, about how to make this all go away, they considered calling upon their buddy Joe Rogan to help. Call him for help. Well, they don't actually have to call Joe because he's been helping from day one. He's who helped Donald Trump get into the White House. I'm not saying he's the sole reason, but he definitely played a big part in helping him get there. He was at the inauguration because he endorsed him and got behind him and pushed him every step of the way. And before that, he was criticizing every move that Joe Biden made for an entire 4 years. So to the people that says, well, you know, Joe used to support Bernie, and he actually endorsed or voted for Bernie once upon a time, and now he's over here with Trump because he's seen the light. What I would say is that actually, no, he turned a long time ago because he bashed Joe Biden the entire presidency that Joe was in there and was constantly talking about the Hunter Biden laptop and cooking up every conspiracy theory under the sun that he could possibly think up to demonize Joe Biden. Then he endorsed Trump. Then he shows up at the inauguration. And he was actually sitting with Kash Patel, if you remember, when Elon first made the post about Trump's and the Epstein files. Kash Patel was sitting right there in front of Joe when it happened. Joe didn't push back at all. Joe didn't say anything. Joe didn't question him harder. Joe didn't pin him down the way that he would have if it had been a Democrat or the way he would have the Biden administration. Instead, he just sat there and was like, wow, man, the internet will make you do crazy things. I think the internet's toxic. He tried to play it off that way. Later, when he was asked why he didn't push back on it, he said, well, I just figured I knew he was sitting there lying to me, but I figured I would just go ahead and not push back any, and then I just put it out there and let the internet do their work. Joe Rogan, as much as he tries to play himself off like he's this anti-establishment rebel journalist kind of dude, he is the establishment now. He is the swamp. He helped to strengthen it. He helped to bring it back and give it another round, and he is now knee deep in it. So I'm sure they will call upon him, because I could sit here and I don't want to drag y'all down with it, but I could sit here and show you countless clips of Joe Rogan talking about Epstein. And whenever he does, the one thing that he always, I won't give him a pass and I won't give him any credit. Some people will say Joe Rogan's seeing the light. But if you really listen to what he's saying, he'll blame Kash Patel, he'll blame Dan Bongino, he'll blame Israel, he'll blame anybody out there. But he will not blame, he will never consider blaming Donald Trump for any of it. He will never consider Donald Trump's guilt. He will cook up every conspiracy theory known to man, but he never zeroes in and says, you know what, Donald Trump could be guilty. Donald Trump could have played me like a fiddle. Donald Trump could have screwed me all along. Because he knows if he does, he'll get that call. And he's seen Stephen Colbert get kicked off the air. He's seen Trump go after people and shut down people and file lawsuits against people. So they have him right over a barrel. He will be the mouthpiece for this, and he will sit there and work to get it over. He will sit there and work to spin it. And he's somebody that once upon a time I thought was interesting to listen to. I thought he had good conversations with people, But now he is the swamp. The very swamp that he sat there and criticized, the very swamp that he sat there and acted like that he wanted no part of. And they can sit there and act as though they got critical thinking skills, and it really cracks me up when you hear him and his guests talking, because it's not two people that are sitting there with critical thinking skills. It sounds like two stoners just sitting around pulling random shit out of their ass. But he will do that, and MAGA will latch on to it. Now, there's people out there that will say, well, Brandon, that's fake news. That didn't really happen, man. That didn't happen. There was no meeting, none of those things. Trust me. If they need to dig themselves out of a hole, I can 100% believe they would call on Joe Rogan. I would 100% believe that they would call on Theo Vaughn. I would 100% believe that they would call back The Undertaker, that they would do anything they could do to get this over. Trump will go on the WWE if he has to and give somebody a Stone Cold Stunner, whatever it takes. He'll do anything it takes. I do believe the guy would go through a burning table full of thumbtacks, which that would be fun to watch. But I'm saying, I think at this particular moment in time, he would do anything he could to save his own ass. So I don't think that's far-fetched to believe that J.D. Vance's solution would say, hey, go on Joe Rogan. Have Joe Rogan talk about it. Let's just turn to Joe Rogan. Joe will twist it up for us. Because Joe has a way of twisting stuff up to make it sound like he's smart and knows what he's talking about. But he never entertains the idea that Trump could be guilty. And that's why I always hold his feet to the fire on that one. I see all kinds of clips. Joe Rogan is turning on Trump. And then I click on it and I listen all the way through. And he criticizes Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's laptop, Hillary Clinton, Rutherford B. Hayes, whoever the fuck he can plot. But he never says it could have been Trump. Trump could have been the one that sat there and played me. Damn, he sat right across this table from me and played me. And Vance sat right across this table from me and played me. He doesn't do that because he knows the minute he did, he would get the call and he would be shut down. So, another coward propping up cowards. That's all there is to it.